This video will show you how to work an exponential data problem using a regression calculation in the TI nSpire CAS calculator. So we're given that we have an exponential function table of data here with x and y data. So I know it's an exponential function. I'm now going to go to the calculator and I've started a new problem, and I'm going to go from the menu to 4, add lists and spreadsheets. So I'm going to click a 4. And this adds, looks just like a spreadsheet. Now to get up to the column title cell, I'm going to hit Tab. I like to name that something other than A. So I'm going to call it X1 for my X values. So I'm going to start at -1, then go 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that completes the X data from my table from the problem. Now I'm going to go click to the right, hit Tab to get to the top of that column, and I'm going to label that Y1. And I'm going to put in my Y data, so I'm going to do a fraction, 5 thirds, then 5, 15, 45, and 135. So that completes my table of data. I'm now going to go Control, and if I hit the dock key, above that in blue is plus page. So I'm adding a page to my current problem. And I actually want a data and statistics page. So I'm going to hit 5. And I see my data points here, but they're disorganized. So I'm going to go click down here. It says click to add a variable. So I'm going to click that, and I want my X data to be on the horizontal axis. And it looks kind of animated, so we go -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So those are the X values. And I'm going to go over here to click to add variable, and I'm going to put the Y data on the vertical axis. So it does look like an exponential. I'm now going to go Menu. And in this menu, the choice 4 is to analyze the graph. So I'm going to go to choice 6, which is regression. So it's beyond the scope of this video to explain exactly what regression is, but it's basically the calculator is fitting a curve to the data that I've got. And then under the regression menu are linear, 2 different ways, another one that we're not going to go into, quadratic, cubic, quartic, which is x to the 4th, a power function, and then what we need, which is exponential. So we're going to click that, and the calculator actually gives me the function. So it's 5 times 3 to the x power. So that's the parent function is 3 to the x, the exponential, and I'm vertically stretching that by 5. Now there's one other feature that the calculator has. I'm going to go Control plus page and add a calculator page. And then when I click var, which stands for variables, I get a bunch of different variables that the calculator used to do that regression. The one that we're going to be concerned with is stat R. R is the correlation coefficient for the regression. So if I click that and hit enter, this is 1. So a correlation coefficient can go from 0 to 1. So 1 is a perfect fit of your data. So if you have 1, you know that that's a perfect fit. That is the function. Now, if it's 0.9 or higher, it's probably a pretty good fit. But if you go less than 0.9 for a correlation coefficient, you should be suspicious about how good that model is. So again, we'll go through the whole process. So I go to Doc, 4 for insert, 1 for a problem. I'm going to add list and spreadsheet, tab to go to the very top of that column. I'm going to label that column as x1 and put in my x data, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go to the next column, tab to get to the top of it, and label that y1. So that's a fraction, 5/3, 5, 15, 45, and 135. So I've entered my data, then I'm going to go Control plus Page, and I want Data and Statistics. So that's a 5. Click to add or enter variable. So I'm going to click there. I want x's on the horizontal axis. Click to add variable. I want the y's on the vertical. And I've got my data points in an exponential function. I then go to Menu, 4 for Analyze, 6 for Regression, and I know it's an exponential function because the problem said so. So I hit 8 for Show Exponential, and I'm given that function, y equals 5 times 3 to the x power. And that concludes this video.